Lone Ranger. A fiery horse with the speed of light, a cloud of dust, and a hearty Hi-Yo Silver. The Lone Ranger.
Well, Tonto, did you find out anything interesting in town?
We have plenty news. Sam Slater, a man who break jail. Him headed this way.
Are you sure?
Him seen in Sweetgrass 2 days ago. Asked storekeeper how far to Marysville.
Marysville? That's in this county. I wonder why Sam Slater is coming here.
Him maybe head for Black Hills. Them make good hideout.
That's all he's looking for. Why should he come this far north? There are plenty good hideouts south of here.
Him maybe have friends in this county.
That's what I've been thinking. There's that old henchman of his, Bob Shea. He's been seen in this territory. And then there's that other fellow. A boy who disappeared right after Slater's biggest holdup. He was never heard from again.
But no one know where him go. Not even boy's family. Them say him innocent. But him not come back to prove it.
Yes, I know, Tonto. It's too bad the way fear makes a man act.
Now, what we do, Kemo Sabe?
Wherever Slater goes, trouble goes with him. We'll search this whole area. Maybe we can find him before he hurts anybody. Let's go.
You sent for me, Mr. Wilson?
Yes, come on in, Jeff. I've just been going over this land survey you made out. It's an excellent job. I want to compliment you.
Thank you, sir.
How long have you been with my bank, Jeff?
7 years.
7 years, eh? You've made remarkable progress in that time. You were pretty green when you first came to us. I wasn't just sure how you were going to make out. You've done fine.
Well, you helped me a lot, sir.
No more than you deserve. You worked hard.
This job means a lot to me. I regard it as an opportunity.
It is, Jeff. That's one of the things I wanted to talk to you about. We're opening a new branch of the bank in Prairie City. We need a manager. How would you like the job?
You mean it, Mr. Wilson?
Of course I do.
You think I can handle it?
I'm sure you can. It'll be a real chance for you. Country's growing all the time. Be a chance for you to grow with it.
Oh, that sounds like a wonderful opportunity. Of course, I'll have to speak to Molly about it.
Naturally. We always have to consult our wives on steps of this kind. I think you'll find Molly will be all for it.
Oh, I'm sure she will.
Why don't you take the rest of the day off? Have a talk with Molly and drop in and see me in the morning.
Thank you, sir. That's just what I'll do it.
What's the matter, Jeff?
This picture of Sam Slater in the paper. It startled me.
Slater?
Yes. He looks like someone I used to know.
Why, you couldn't possibly have known Slater. He's a notorious outlaw, murderer.
Yes, I know. I've heard of him. When did he escape?
A few days ago, he killed a guard in his getaway. Now, this seems to upset you, Jeff.
Oh, no, sir. I'm all right. It's just a coincidence. He looks like someone I went to school with.
If anything's worrying you, anything at all, you can talk to me about it.
Why should anything worry me?
That's a question you'll have to answer.
If anything was bothering me, anything serious, I'd have to go to the law. That'd be the only straightforward thing to do.
Yes, that would be the straightforward thing. But even if he is your father-in-law, Jeff, Sheriff Harper's not the man I'd like to take my troubles to.
He's a good man.
He's an honest man, if that's what you mean. I can't help feeling that he lays too much emphasis on the letter of the law, not enough on the spirit.
Still, he's the man I'd have to go to.
Whatever you think best, Jeff. But remember, I have confidence in you.
Thank you, sir.
I'm just asking you to be a little easier on my boy, Jim. He's not the one that started that trouble. Matter of fact, he didn't know those fellas were really planning to rob the store. He thought it was sort of a joke.
Howdy, son.
Hello, Jim.
Be with you in a minute. What's your trouble?
I gotta talk to you.
Sure, I'll be right there. Well, Tom, is that all you've got to say?
I reckon that about covers it.
Well, the answer to all you're asking is no.
It ain't human to be the way you are.
Law officers are not supposed to be human.
You gotta have a human side. Someday you're gonna find that out. I only hope it ain't too painful when that day comes.
That's the trouble of being a lawman, Jeff. People don't understand it when you do your duty.
But, Jim, what about that boy's mother? It doesn't seem fair to make innocent people like her suffer for what he did.
Women always suffer in a situation like that, Jeff. There's no way around it except for the men not to break the law.
Yes, I see what you mean.
But that's enough about old Tom's troubles. Let's hear about yours.
No, it really wasn't anything very important.
Well, you must have had something on your mind. What was it?
Well, I thought maybe you could help me persuade Molly about something.
Can't handle her alone, eh? What's your problem, son?
It's about the bank. Mr. Wilson's opening up a new branch in Prairie City. He wants me to manage it.
Now, I'd say that's mighty fine. Congratulations.
Thanks.
Any sign of Slater at all, Tonto?
Not yet, Kemo Sabe. We search whole area near hills.
I haven't had any better luck either. There's still a lot of ground to cover. Let's keep looking.
Jack's house is just over that hill. Only he calls himself Jeff Niles now. I just found him a couple of days ago.
And he's working in a bank, you said?
Yeah.
That couldn't fit into my plans any better. Come on, we'll go the rest of the way on foot.
Well, why don't we take the nags? It'd be faster.
Can't take the chance. Gotta sneak up on him. It's over 7 years since I saw Jack last, and he ain't exactly grateful to me for getting him involved in that holdup.
You figure he might want to start some trouble?
Maybe. Maybe not. But if he wants to hang on to that nice reputation he's built up for himself, he'll have to play ball with me.
He wouldn't dare do anything else. His father-in-law's the toughest sheriff for miles around. You'd put a child in jail for stealing candy.
Yeah? That makes it even easier. Still, it may not be enough. Trouble with Jack is he always was an honest man. Sometimes that's hard to change.
We can handle him.
Yeah, well, just to be safe, I'll go in alone. You hang around outside. Stay under cover. Don't show yourself to anyone. Unless you see or hear some trouble.
Don't worry. I'll keep a good watch.
Well, that's a fine way to greet a husband when he comes home from work.
Jeff, what are you doing home so early?
Well, I thought I'd just come home and check up on you. See if you keep as busy as you claim.
I'll bet you don't work half as hard. Seriously, what are you doing home? Is anything wrong?
No, far from it. Everything's right today. I've been given the day off.
What for?
Well, honey, Mr. Wilson's planning on opening a branch in Prairie City. He said I could manage it if I wanted to.
If you want to? Why, Jeff, that's wonderful.
Well, it's certainly worth looking into.
You don't sound very enthusiastic. I thought this was what you always wanted, a real opportunity.
Well, of course, it's a big responsibility. I don't know if I'm ready for it.
What's gotten into you? I've never heard you talk like that before. You've always been so intensely ambitious.
Well, I still am, Molly, only... Well, I just don't want to get in over my head.
What's wrong?
Wrong?
Now, don't try that innocent act with me, darling. I know you too well. Something's troubling you, something important that has to do with the job. What is it?
I hate to tell you, Molly.
You know you can depend on me. Tell me what it is.
It's Slater. Sam Slater.
Slater? Why, I thought he was in prison for life.
He escaped. And there's a rumor going around that he's heading this way. You remember the other day when I told you I thought I saw Bob Shea, a member of the old gang, around town? Well, he must have seen me, too. Got word to Slater. If those two get together, it means plenty of trouble for me. They know about that poster and my picture on it.
That isn't fair. You're not a criminal, and you never were. Sam Slater tricked you into joining him on that one robbery because he wanted you with his gang. He told you it was a practical joke. You were just a kid, and you believed him.
It doesn't matter why I was there. The fact that I was present makes me as guilty as Slater himself.
That's not so.
Yes, it is. That's what your father says. He knows the law.
My father? You didn't tell him.
No. I started to, and then I began to think of you and how you'd feel if I went to prison, and, well, I lost my courage.
I'm glad you did. I'm ashamed of Father. Ashamed that now that we really want him, we can't go to him for help.
Molly, darling, he's bound to find out about this someday. Don't you think it's better to tell him now and get it over with?
No, I won't let you go to prison for a crime you didn't commit.
Yes, but...
We'll go away. We'll go farther west, where Slater will never find you.
You think we could?
Of course.
Maybe we've been worrying about nothing. Maybe Slater isn't headed this way at all. Maybe I just imagined I saw that member of his gang.
You didn't imagine that. You saw Bob all right, and he saw you. How else do you think I found you?
Slater.
How are you, Jack? Excuse me, it's Jeff now, ain't it? And this must be Sheriff Harper's daughter, Molly. Howdy, ma'am.
What do you want with us?
Well, now, I might want a lot of things from you. But to begin with, a nice warm meal will do.
We want nothing to do with you. Get out.
Oh, now, that ain't any way to talk to an old friend.
I said get out.
Suppose I don't.
Well, then I'll...
You'll turn me over to the sheriff? Then I just have to tell him who was with me in that express office holdup back in Deadwood. You know, young fella who disappeared. I got a poster with his picture on it.
I didn't know you intended to rob that express office. And I didn't touch a dime of that money, and you know it.
Sure, I know it. But that ain't what I'd tell Sheriff Harper.
What do you want me to do?
Understand you're working in a bank now.
What about it?
Well, now, that ought to make it kind of easy for me to knock that place over. You'll know just when the vault's full. Might even supply me with the combination.
Listen, Slater. I'll never be a party to anything like that.
I think you will. Or else I'll just have to send a little message to Sheriff Harper about his son-in-law. And from then on, your home life would be kind of busted up, what with you being behind bars all the time.
Why, you cowardly...
Oh, now, there you go again, insulting your old friend.
Molly, I can't do it. I can't bargain with this man.
Jeff, you can't let him turn you in. You won't have a chance. You know what Father's like.
But, Molly...
I don't know what to say. It isn't always easy to do what's right.
You mean you want me to take orders from this outlaw?
Sure she does. She's real sensible. And it'll pay you to be the same. Because if you try any tricks, I left that poster of you with a friend. It'll go to Sheriff Harper pronto. Understand?
Yes, I understand.
Then let's get down to business. Now, first of all... Who's that?
I haven't the faintest idea.
One of them's wearing a mask. They must be friends of yours.
I never seen him before.
They seem to be heading this way.
Get rid of him, fast. And remember, I'll be right there in the kitchen, listening to everything you say.
Don't let this mask upset you. I'm here in the interests of the law.
What is it you want?
May we come in?
I'm not in the habit of inviting masked men into my living room.
You have nothing to fear from us, I can assure you. But we'd like to make certain you have nothing to hide.
Come in.
Thank you.
Now that we've let you in, suppose you explain the meaning of that last remark.
It's very simple. There's an escaped convict somewhere in this area. A man by the name of Sam Slater. We have reason to believe somebody may be harboring him.
Oh, why should you think we're harboring him?
No special reason, ma'am. But we're checking everywhere.
I'm certain you're wasting your time here.
You not see or hear anything of this man?
Nothing.
You realize, of course, this man is a dangerous criminal.
Yes, we've heard of him.
Everybody must keep a sharp lookout. It's the only way he'll be caught.
We'll do that now, naturally. Won't we, dear?
Yes, of course.
Well, we've done all we... By the way, we didn't get your name.
Niles. Jeff and Molly Niles.
How long have you lived in this county, Mr. Niles?
About 7 years. Why do you ask?
Just curious, that's all. Well, we'll be on our way. Keep your eyes open.
Yes, we will.
Bye.
You done fine, kids. Especially you, ma'am. Just keep it up and we won't have any trouble at all.
What do you want us to do now?
Suppose you get on out in the kitchen and fix me up something to eat. He and I'll sit here and have a little talk about business.
Something wrong, Kemo Sabe?
There was someone hiding in their kitchen. I saw him just as we were leaving. It must be Slater.
You think young couple protect him?
It's hard to tell. He might have been holding a gun on them.
What we do?
If Slater is in there, he'll have to be turned over to the law. You ride to town as fast as you can and find the sheriff. Ask him if he'll come back here with you.
You stay here?
Yes. I'll watch the house and try and grab Slater if I get the chance.
Him killer. You be careful, Kemo Sabe.
Don't worry, Tonto. I will.
This is the main vault back here.
Uh-huh. You sure you put down the right combination? What about the gold shipments? When do they come in?
Usually on the 2nd of the month.
The 2nd of them? Hey, that's tomorrow. Looks like everything's working out just fine.
For you, maybe. But not for anyone else.
I'll take charge of this. Now let's see how that food's coming along.
Hold it, Slater. Toss your gun over there.
Well, the man with the mask, huh?
Now, put your hands behind your back. Tie him up, Niles. Hurry, and don't you try anything.
What on earth?
It's all right, Mrs. Niles. Everything is under control now.
You've captured him?
Yes, my Indian friend has gone for the sheriff.
The sheriff?
Slater, get over there. Niles.
Well, there's nothing I can do except wait for the sheriff.
It won't be long, Slater. About 15 or 20 minutes.
A lot can happen in 15 or 20 minutes.
I'm a little disappointed in you, Niles. You look like an honest man and you have a nice place here. Why throw it all away by helping this outlaw rob a bank?
What would you do if he had a gun in your back?
Is that the only reason why you were going to help him?
What do you mean?
It's just a guess. But I'm wondering if you're not that young fellow who disappeared just after Slater staged that holdup 7 years ago.
You don't understand. My husband's innocent, but he can't prove it. He'll go to jail for years and years if Slater talks to the sheriff.
When a man's afraid, Mrs. Niles, it makes him behave foolishly. Your husband is innocent, he won't go to jail. It's only your fear that makes you think so. Why so nervous, Niles? It'll all be over soon. My Indian friend will be back here with the sheriff shortly.
That's just what's making him nervous, mister. He knows once I talk, he's through for good. Unless something happens first to prevent it.
If you try anything crooked, Niles, it'll only prove you're guilty. I'd rather have proof you're innocent.
Drop those guns, mister. If you don't, I'll let you have it in the back.
Good work, Bob. Come on, untie me. Hurry up. Now you're acting real sensible. And as a reward, I'm going to do something real nice for you.
What do you mean?
Well, now, you don't want this masked man talking to the sheriff when he comes, do you? I'm going to fix it so as you'll find him lying on the floor. Dead.
What good will that do?
You'll tell the sheriff I turned the tables on this hombre. Shot him and got away. That'll send him and the Indian out looking for me, and then there won't be any lawmen around to interfere when you and me rob that bank.
It won't work, Slater.
Why not?
Because I have a hunch that Jeff is too honest to tell a story like that.
You're crazy, mister. He knows by now it don't pay to be honest. How'll you have it, in the back or in the stomach?
You're not afraid.
I happen to believe that when a man's in the right, he has no reason to be afraid.
Yeah? Maybe this is going to change your mind.
No!
This Sheriff Harper, Kemo Sabe.
There's your man, Sheriff. Sam Slater and Bob Shea, one of his sidekicks. Do you have handcuffs for them? Take care of them, Tonto.
What was Slater doing here? In my son-in-law's house?
Why don't you ask Jeff?
Hello, Jim.
Well, son, what about it?
I'm sorry, Jim, but I'm afraid what you're thinking is right. I was the man with Slater when he robbed that express company office in Deadwood 7 years ago.
You realize what this means, son?
Yes, I know.
No, Dad, you can't. You can't arrest Jeff. He's not a criminal. It was all a mistake.
It's my duty, Molly.
Your duty, is that all you think about? The letter of the law. Well, what about the spirit?
Molly, you don't understand.
Oh, yes, I do. I understand perfectly. You're just not human. Why, it was Jeff who helped capture these two outlaws. And he saved the masked man's life, even though he knew it might mean his going to prison.
That's right, Sheriff. You still want to arrest him?
No, I can't do it. No matter what it costs me.
You don't have to give up your badge. You've done nothing wrong by showing a little mercy.
What do you mean?
There's a statute of limitations in this state on everything except murder. It runs for 7 years. Jeff can never be arrested for that escapade now.
Darling, did you hear that?
Yes, Molly, I heard.
But here are 2 others for you to arrest, Sheriff.
The greatest of pleasure. You should have stayed in prison, Slater. You'll probably hang this time. You've got 2 murders to answer for.
Wait a minute, Sheriff. Slater, nothing you can say now will put Jeff behind bars. But you can say a lot to clear his reputation. If you have any decency left in you, this is your last chance to prove it. How about it?
All right. The kid was innocent. I tricked him into that robbery.
Thanks, Slater.
Come on, Tonto. Our work is done here.
But we haven't thanked you.
There's no need for thanks. Goodbye and good luck.
Well, you folks will have to excuse me. I got to get these critters locked up. I'll see you all later.
Oh, Jim, you'll have another talk with Tom, won't you, and see what you can do for his boy?
Ah, don't worry. From now on, I'm going to be a different kind of a sheriff.
And if you see Mr. Wilson, tell him Jeff is definitely going to take that new job.
Oh, I'll make it a point to see him.
Jeff, I'm so glad we don't have to worry about the past anymore.
Yeah, and we owe it all to the man with the mask.
I wonder who he is. Didn't the Indian tell you, Dad?
Yes, I was a little curious myself. But I should have guessed the answer. He's the Lone Ranger.
Hail, Bill!